Hey friends, it's me again, and we are on episode 4. And before we talk about ferns, I wanted to give you a little update of how my garden is looking right now. Once again, it's still spring and everything is still sleeping and trying to get out of the soil and pop up. So it's filling in a little bit, but there's not a lot of color yet. But I wanted you to take a notice of my peonies that are coming up, and they literally spring up like overnight. They just continue to grow. Mid-May, these will have the most gorgeous flowers on them. We'll talk a little more about peonies at another time, but some of these peonies came off the clearance rack, and some of them I paid a little bit more money for. We'll talk about that later. So let's go on over to the ferns. And I wanted to tell you a little story about ferns because it's very intriguing. During the Victorian ages, ferns were the it plant, and everybody that was anyone had a fern. And there was a lot of scandal and tantalizing stories that went along with ferns also, because unmarried women would go out on fern walks unescorted, and at that time you did not do that. Were they really unescorted, or were they meeting up with their lover out in the fern fields? We will never know. But for 50 years, ferns were really the hot ticket. And then they jumped over to this side of the pond and became very, very popular in America. Now, ferns are very easy now to get. They're easy to plant. They're easy to transplant. And all of my ferns in my garden actually came from my neighbor. And we just split them. And I'm a bargain Betty at times, so it actually worked out great for me because they're easy to split. The deer hate them, and they're maintenance free, and they're actually beautiful. So let's go ahead and take one of my ferns here and split it. So all you need to do, which actually this is very important, that you get the fern out of the soil early spring before the bulb and the roots really develop. So let's go on down. Let's take this big boy out. Well, she's a little boy. He'll be big soon. I loosened him up a few minutes ago just to get the roots out. Okay. So right there's the roots and the bulb, real tiny. Doesn't that look prehistoric? Actually, ferns are one of the first plants that ever have been existed. They're over 350 million years old. This version, he's a baby. He's only about 150 million years old. Okay, little information there on ferns. So let's dig a hole right here. Little hole, doesn't even have to be that big. Pop him in there. Put his soil around him, and this has been mulched also. And then come summer, this fern will be beautiful, like a lot of them here, and we'll take a look at them at that time. They'll be bursting with lots of leaves on it. We're gonna stop right there today, and next week we're gonna talk about planting seedlings in little containers and get them growing so that we can plant them later in the spring out here. Look forward to it. Love ya.